Welcome to the Holistic Mom Life podcast. Now, before we begin, I just want to share something that I created just for you, and it is my 7-day meal plan for busy moms. The 7-day meal plan for busy moms is my simple and realistic guide that is going to help you to keep your energy up, to nourish your body, and help you enjoy family meals without stress. Okay, the goal is not to be perfect. We're doing this because we need to fuel our bodies in real life with kids. We got naps, cravings, and laundry happening all the time. Okay, so you can grab it for free via the link in my description. Now, can I be honest with you? We live in a culture that treats pregnant women like these fragile beings, right? Most moms are told that they need to just survive the next 9 months and beyond. And that's what the culture's showing us, right? That we need to just survive. We just need to wait. We just need to be uncomfortable and just deal with it, deal with pregnancy. But we're not supposed to be just clawing our way through pregnancy. You can actually be strengthened in pregnancy. You can be using the sign to prepare for this really big thing that's about to happen in your life, this big shift, right? You want to be prepping to step into this new chapter of your life with confidence. And truthfully, the way that you finish your pregnancy matters. Yes, there is a lot of physical pressure happening in the last days of your pregnancy, but you also want to get through it with purpose, right? With a purpose in mind, which is to deliver this new life into the world, right? So you need to be focused on having energy to get to the finish line. That's our main goal during the third trimester. So in the last 2 weeks of pregnancy, protecting energy becomes everything. You want to make sure that you're having your small balanced meals because obviously, your stomach is stretching more and more and you're running out of space at this point. You want to make sure that you're having protein plus minerals, right? Those two things are very important during the third trimester. Think eggs with spinach, chicken and rice, yogurt with berries, bone broth. In terms of minerals, you want to be thinking about coconut water, of course, mineral water, adrenal cocktail. You want to keep that hydration consistent during this third trimester. And you don't want to wait until you feel depleted to take care of yourself. You need to invest in your energy before you start to feel empty. We're not trying to power through pregnancy with exhaustion because that can actually translate to a difficult labor. Hello? So I want to share some comfort hacks with you today. The first thing I want to talk about is reflux. Okay, many moms suffer with reflux the entire pregnancy. Some women only suffer with reflux in the beginning of pregnancy and then it leaves and then it comes back during the third trimester. Most of the time, it does come back during the third trimester. Reflux is going to be real in this season, okay? A few gentle supports that you want to think about are sipping water, not chugging water. We want to be sipping water during the third trimester because remember, we have very little space. And you also don't want to overhydrate. Like there's such a thing as having water toxicity, so you don't want to overdo it. But you want to make sure you're hydrating as much as possible with water. And during this phase, you want to be staying upright. You want to stay upright after meals. You want to be elevating your head at night if you need to. Or some women, I know some of my friends, they actually end up sleeping more upright during the third trimester. And if that's what helps you to feel comfortable to get a good night of sleep, sleep upright. As long as you're not uncomfortable, right? Now, before I forget, I wanted to add in another hydration hack that I feel like is not spoken about enough, and it's okra water. Okra water in the third trimester is so good for hydration, getting in that extra fiber, increasing your folate and vitamin C, which is so good for your skin and your energy levels. Okra in general is very slimy. It has a gelatinous texture, and what it does is it helps to create a slippery environment, making vaginal delivery easier. Now, there are many opinions on whether this has worked or not. However, I can attest to it actually making a difference in my second labor because of the fact that my son really did slip out, and that is on me drinking lots of okra water in the third trimester, and of course all of labor prep. Some people like to do their okra water with red raspberry leaf tea and kind of like make a really nice fresh drink from it. I simply just like to have it in water. You can literally just wash 3 to 5 okra pods. I do a little bit more than 3 to 4, and you just chop it up into little small pieces and submerge it in a full glass of water, like a full pitcher of water, and you can let that sit in your fridge for maybe like 4 to 12 hours, or you can do it overnight and you can just sip on that throughout the day. You can also strain the liquid and drink it, but I don't strain it. I drink it straight like that. Okay, it's very slimy if you're somebody who's not really into textures. It is very slimy, but if you can mix it with fruit juice, any flavored electrolytes, you can blend it into a smoothie to make it more palatable. And of course, check with your doctor before trying anything new. But again, this is food that we're talking about. We're not talking about a supplement. This is food. Something else you want to be adding to your menu during the third trimester is bone broth. You need bone broth and warm, easy meals, which are easy to digest, and that's going to help a lot during the third trimester. We're not trying to aim for perfection during the third trimester. You just really want to do everything possible to be comfortable, right? We want to get as comfortable as possible. And listen, some days, in my past two pregnancy, I would say to myself, if this spoon in my hand, if it falls on the floor, if I drop it, it's going to stay on the floor and I'm not picking it up. I get to this point being in the second trimester and the third trimester of pregnancy for myself. I'm speaking for myself, where I become a little bit more mindful of my grip on things because I don't want to be dropping things all the time. And I'm not saying that this is me being lazy. This is just me being more mindful because sometimes when you bend down, especially when you're pregnant, you could tend to get dizzy. You have this bundle, your belly, that's right in front of you. It's not so simple to just bend down unless you're doing a full-on squat. Unless you're trying to work out throughout the day. That's a different story. If you drop something on the floor, you're not always going to want to pop a squat. You're probably not going to want to pick it up at all some days. Yes, I would say to myself, if I have something in my hand, if I drop it, it's going to stay there. And I'll just get a grabber to pick it up. And I have a grabber in my house for that reason. Okay? Don't judge me. It comes in handy. Something else I want to talk about for during the third trimester is nourishment for labor prep. Okay? Dates have been shown to soften the cervix. I know that Western medicine doesn't really support holistic ways or doesn't fully support, yeah, Western medicine doesn't fully support some holistic ways of preparing for labor, or just helping our bodies in general during the third trimester. But there's been a lot of research that shows that dates are shown to help soften the cervix and promote spontaneous labor and shorten the active stages of labor. So during this third trimester, closest to the end, starting at maybe like 34 or 35 weeks, you want to be having dates. This is part of preparing your body for the big day. Another thing that we want to be adding to our nutrition during the third trimester is red raspberry leaf tea. Now, red raspberry leaf tea has been shown to tone the uterus, so you want to be stocking up on red raspberry leaf tea because you want to strengthen your uterus so that once we go into labor and we start contractions, that each contraction is efficient. We want to have efficient contractions. We want to have quality contractions so that every contraction is moving the baby down the canal and not slowing down labor. We're like allowing labor to progress naturally and as smoothly as possible. And you're also going to want to be having red raspberry leaf tea postpartum as well. It helps to heal your womb and it also helps with postpartum hormones. And then, of course, next on the list are leafy greens. We're told that we're supposed to be having our leafy greens all throughout pregnancy, but your leafy greens is what's going to be the minerals that your muscles need to function. You need minerals for muscle function. And so you want to make sure that you're having leafy greens during the third trimester. That's on smoothies, salads, side dishes. Don't rely on powders. Eat actual greens during the third trimester. Now, going back to the topic of bone broth, I know I mentioned this earlier, but bone broth, I'm always going to be talking about bone broth. I'm making bone broth today. You could make bone broth from beef. You could make beef bone broth, or you could make it from chicken. I do both. Bone broth is rich in collagen, it's rich in gelatin, and the amino acid glutamine, which is so good for gut repair. Bone broth is so good for you, especially when it comes to digestion. And obviously, you want to have beautiful skin, and all that starts in your gut. And so, bone broth, definitely get that into your third trimester, more like your whole lifestyle nutrition. And I just want to backtrack a little bit. None of this is about control. Okay, I just want you to keep that in mind. And none of this is about being controlling and strict with yourself and trying to strive during the third trimester. It's really just about giving your body optimal conditions during the trimester. And so God gave us supportive foods on the earth that are part of his design. And so why not use exactly what he gave us? educate ourselves as much as possible on the food that we're consuming during pregnancy. Okay, we must educate ourselves and use exactly what he gave us in order to have a smooth or as natural labor as we possibly can. During labor prep, we're not just breathing, we're not just focusing on breathing in our birth plans. Labor prep actually starts in your kitchen with the foods. So we want to focus on that. Magnesium is another nutrient that we want to think about during the third trimester. Of course, speak to your doctor before starting any new meds or supplements. But magnesium is one of my favorite third trimester supports. I would actually say it's for all the trimesters because it helps to relax your muscles. It helps to support sleep, which is something that is not easy to come by, especially if you already have little ones. If you have toddlers like me, you want to make sure that the sleep that you're getting is quality sleep. So magnesium is going to help to calm your nervous system and help you to get the quality sleep that you need. It soothes muscle cramps. It helps with restlessness. It helps with headaches, especially I know that for me, first trimester, I get headaches on and off, and then second trimester, I get headaches on and off. And so having magnesium, specifically the Sleepy Girl mocktail that I'm always talking about, has helped a lot with that. But you want to also be mindful when it comes to magnesium. You don't want to be overdoing it because you will get the runs, okay? Just be mindful of the type of magnesium that you're drinking. Should be having magnesium glycinate for sleep and constipation if that is an issue for you in the third trimester, in pregnancy in general, but it's not something that you want to have every single night. And if you're thinking of the Sleepy Girl mocktail and drinking the one that I like, it's something that you don't want to have every single night, but definitely every other day, just to make sure that you are increasing your magnesium stores, and then of course that you're getting a good night's sleep. A warm magnesium drink before bed can also change everything. And if you're not into the Sleepy Girl mocktail with ice, I like mine with ice, you can make it warm. Something else that we want to be focusing on that I'm always going to be talking about is movement, right? Movement and rest are partners during the season. They're partners during the entire pregnancy, during life, right? Movement and rest are partners during the season. They're not opposite. You want to put these two things together to make the third trimester as optimal as possible, to make the third trimester as smooth as possible. So you're going to want to be going on your short walks. I am always walking. If I'm working out during the week, I'm also walking. I find a reason to go for a walk, whether it's going to the grocery store with the kids, going to the library, or just going to the park. I find a reason to go for a walk to get outside because the fresh air is also going to help you, especially if you're in the house all day. Or if you're at work, if your job requires you to be inside, it's good to get outside as much as possible during your entire pregnancy, really, even if it's cold outside. I'm a huge advocate for being outside or getting as much outside time as possible all year round, not just in the summertime when it's warm outside or in the spring when it's cool outside, but all year round. So bundle up, put on some layers, get outside, okay? I personally started 1,000 hours outside. The new cycle that started, I think it was last year or during the summer, and honestly, I didn't keep up with tracking all of my hours, but the fact that I started this habit of making sure that I was getting outside as much as possible during the week and scheduling it in, that is what created a habit where it's like, okay, if I go like 2 days without going outside or actually going for a walk, playing outside with my kids or just doing something outside, I will feel like something is wrong. Just like if you spend more than 2 days or a couple of days, if you are like me and you spend a couple of days not working out, your body's going to feel like you're missing something until you go back to those habits that you already built in that made you feel good or just are just good for your body. And so, yes, outside time as much as possible. We need to be focusing on those gentle stretches, pelvic tilt, lots of tailor sitting, opening up your hips and doing a lot of deep breathing. And if you're into Christian hypnobirthing, that can help a whole lot with that as well. And of course, naps, okay? These naps that you want to take that your body so badly wants are the preparation. They're not you being weak. They're giving your body what it needs. By you giving your body exactly what you need, you're not being lazy. And if you're taking lots of naps during pregnancy, you remember that you're growing a human. It's part of your preparation. You are preparing for this big marathon, aka labor, okay? So it's not just about being physical, it's an emotional thing. It's spiritual. So you want to spend a lot of time sitting in scripture, worshiping while you fold those tiny clothes, praying through your fears that you might have coming up during the third trimester and preparing for labor and asking God to steady your heart for birth and help you to get ready for this new phase of life. The Bible says in Psalms 4, verse 8, "In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety." That's what we want to be meditating on. So you want to meditate on the fact that you are carried, you are covered, and you're chosen. I also wanted to backtrack a little bit because I don't want to minimize the importance of stretching during this phase. I just want to go back to the importance of working out and stretching. Working out is what's going to help to strengthen your muscles that need to be strengthened, but also have good muscle tone. Okay, it's important to have good muscle tone, whether you're pregnant or not. The more muscle you have in your body, the better. Research has shown this time and time again. And stretching is what's going to help to relax those pelvic floor muscles. I 100% highly suggest seeing a pelvic floor physical therapist during pregnancy, postpartum, because it is a life changer. I think I would always, with anybody that I know, recommend seeing a pelvic floor physical therapist because they will help you to prepare your body for birth and also postpartum. Honestly, I believe it should be a required part of prenatal care at this point because it's a necessary help for mothers and soon to be mothers in America, but it's just not widely practiced. Well, at least it hasn't been widely promoted in the past, in my opinion. I feel like more and more in the present day, with us millennials, many women are waking up to the importance of pelvic floor physical therapy, especially as you age. So, what is one thing that you are doing in your third trimester to prepare for birth? I want you to think about that. Think about it throughout the week and then come back here and comment below. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. And if this episode blesses you, it would mean so much to me if you would like, rate, review, and share this. I'm Jessica Titsky, your Fit Mom Coach.